Hey everyone, I'm Mike Settele, and in this lesson, I'm going to show you how to use the SAT Question Bank made by the College Board. This is an important resource that you can use to improve your scores, but it's important that you know how to use it correctly because it could do really bad things for your prep if you do not use it right. It could completely ruin the practice test, so we got to make sure we watch out for that. So I'll show you how to do it, and I will show you how to use my YouTube channel to make sure you're maximizing this resource efficiently. So the first things first is there are actually two question banks. There's the Educator Question Bank, which is the one that I prefer, and there is the Student Question Bank, which is the one you're more likely to kind of stumble your way into. So if you were on the College Board website and you've logged in, you'll see your test scores or whatever. And then if you scroll all the way down, you will see under resources, the Student Question Bank link, right? Choose your own practice questions to help improve your test score. So you probably would click that at some point and then be brought to the Student Question Bank page, which looks a lot like the Educator Question Bank page, right? And so if we hit this Find Questions button, we're going to see we basically have the same options. The only difference is because we're logged in, we have all the practice tests. You can see I've taken quite a bunch over the years, but you don't really need this in order to use the question bank. So this is why the Educator Question Bank, I think, is better. You don't need to log in. It won't log you out if you're kind of staring at the screen too long, and that can be really, really frustrating. So I would much rather work with the same exact questions, but without having to do the login to the site. So again, both of these links I'll put in the description, but the Educator Question Bank for lots of reasons is the one to use. But let's just show side by side how to use both. First, you would choose SAT as the assessment for both. And the reason we don't really need to do anything with the PSAT is, well, you really shouldn't be studying this hard for the PSAT. It doesn't matter. So especially if you're picking the PSAT 8, 9, that's going to exclude some questions that might be on the SAT, but not on a lower PSAT. But like, you really shouldn't be studying for the PSAT 8, 9, even the regular old PSAT for 11th graders. You really don't want to be studying for that too hard either. So I don't think this is a good resource for those. Instead, save this for when you're taking the SAT. It'll also let you choose the section. So we're going to do reading and writing for now. And then it's going to give you this list of the domains. These are the same things that appear on your score report. So if you do take a practice test, you'll recognize these names. And I do have videos that explain what each of these is. So that way you can kind of get a sense of them and what they include. But this is another way to do that. But let's do craft and structure for now. And we'll be able to get a chart of all these questions. Let's do that over here so we can see them side by side, reading and writing, craft and structure. And you'll see they both have these 329 questions. And then there's a mixture of things here, right? So we have different difficulties. We have different types of questions. That's kind of showing up here in the Educator Question Bank as well. Let's start by narrowing things down a bit. So in both cases, we can sort by difficulty. We can sort by skill, difficulty, skill. So let's do hard questions, right? There you go. So now we're down to 82. And let's narrow it down to vocab questions. That'd be words in context. And now we're at 35. So not that many, but we're going to do the same thing here. And hard questions, save. Skill, words in context, save. Same 35 questions. Now here's the problem. This is a lie. It is not 35 questions, okay? Because we are including in here questions from the practice test. This is the most important thing you have to do if you are going to use this question bank, especially if you have still saved a few of the practice test questions. So you're going to have to click this button that it says exclude active questions, and it'll explain it right here. Use this filter to remove questions that are also included in the official full-length practice test. So this is really stupid what the College Board did. They basically gave you this resource that if you don't read the instructions carefully, is going to spoil the best thing that the College Board ever made, which is the practice test. And if you do the questions here, you'll learn all the answers, you'll learn all the explanations, and then when you take the practice test, you will do much better than you would have otherwise because you will have known the answers in advance. And watch what happens if we click this button. 35, 9. Same thing here. We got to click the button. Exclude active questions. And now we're down to 9. So that means if you want to study hard vocab questions, you have just 9 extra to go by. That's it. And so here's the other thing. If we want to use them, we got to be careful what we do. So if we click the question in both, you're going to get something that looks like this. It's going to have the question. And you can see here on the right in the student one, I don't have the answer, but that's because I don't scroll. If I scroll, it's there as well as the explanation. And so depending on just how big your screen is, you can click this and you'll see the answer before you even have a chance to answer the question yourself. So you've got to be careful of that. And same thing here. So what are we going to do about this? Well, in both cases, we have this export button, right? So let's do it in the College Board's Educator Question Bank here. What you're going to do is you're going to click these boxes for all the questions you want to include. There is no button to just select all. So you're gonna have to manually click it. So if you want a set of like 50 or so questions, you can, click something like this to show them all, but then you're gonna need to manually click 50 boxes. Another big mistake by the College Board is just make our lives easier, so I don't have to click a million boxes. Anyway, then you are gonna come over to here to export, and you're gonna have 3 options. No correct answers or explanations. That first option is pretty much what you're going to want. That's going to print only the questions, or it's going to save them in a PDF for you. You don't have to print it, but at least you'll have the questions without the answers on the same page. So that's pretty much what you're going to want to click. You could also create a PDF with correct answers and explanations. That's pretty much what I showed you when it popped up. Or without answers or headers, that's going to be a little bit more of a kind of bare bones version of the question. So I recommend this top one, so that way we also have the question ID. And that's going to allow you to find that question later when you need to do the answer. A couple other things to just point out before we move on. I'm not going to actually create the PDF because it takes a second. In the Educator Question Bank, we have this include state standards thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't apply to you at all. Ignore it. Doesn't do anything. It's for educators, I guess, but doesn't matter at all. The other frustrating thing is these are the same 9 questions in both banks, but let's take a closer look, right? The first question here for the Educator Question Bank is this ID number 22A41819. Okay, but let's go to the Student Bank. Do you see that number? 22A? Nope, it's not there. Why? Well, these are the exact same questions, but for whatever mystical reason, the College Board has decided to give them completely different ID numbers for the Educator Question Bank and the Student Question Bank. I don't know why they do that. But this is another reason to stick to the Educator Question Bank is most of my videos are using the ID number from the Educator Question Bank because I didn't know that they were different at first and I like the Educator one better. So you should use this so that way you have those ID numbers and you can find them more easily later when you need to go over the question. So let's talk about how we would do that. So if you go to my channel homepage, which you should do. There's lots of great resources there. They're organized in a way that kind of makes sense for how to learn the SAT, the strategies, things like that. But if you scroll all the way down, there are going to be 2 different categories of extra questions, targeted practice. The first one here is the new questions that I wrote. And this is a way to get more practice on certain topics without spoiling the practice tests or the question bank. So this is for paid channel members. You should look into that. It's not available in all countries, but click the join button on any video of mine and it should take you to more information about that. For just $5 a month, you get access to these questions. Each one has the question on the video with a timer so you know how long you're supposed to take on it, as well as an explanation of that question right away. So that way you can learn from the mistake. So already, if we just get in here and look at some of these topics here. Where is it? Right, so here, this is not well labeled, but twisted relationships, this right here is already another 10 vocab questions that are completely different from the ones here. Here's another 20, so there you go. There's already 30 vocab questions that I've written as opposed to the 9 hard ones that they gave you. So there you go. But beyond that, here is another set of questions that are going to be helpful without spoiling the practice test. These are the question bank ones right here, okay? So I have some math ones, I have some reading ones, and they're organized in a way that I think makes much more sense than their weird naming conventions. So you basically they're organized in groups of 10 to help you kind of practice. But when you find one of these that you like, let's do a vocab one. Near the top. Here we go. So here, vocab 3. So you can see I have in the title the name of the question bank ID. So that way you can find the question and match it up again with the Educator Question Bank easily. Another way to do this is if you've done the questions in the question bank yourself first, you can go to my channel homepage. Let's go back and cut that off. And if you go on the top here, right, so it has all these different tabs. It's kind of cut off, but there's a search bar and just search what you want, right? So here, if you had trouble with question 22A41819, just search for it. 22A41819, search. and it'll take you right to the video for that thing. I don't have videos for every single question yet, but if it's in there, it'll pop up. But just make sure you are using the ID in the question bank for educators, not the student question bank. I hope to incorporate that at some point, but it's thousands of questions. So that's another reason to use the educator one. It is better for that. But I also want to show you one last thing about the educator question bank that is different. So if I go back to new search and I click SAT and I click math, and I am just going to check off all the topics. Here we have 1,385 questions. If I do the same thing in the student question bank, math, check off all the topics, continue, 907 questions, right? That's a pretty big difference, right? So 1385, 907, and if we do the exclude test questions, 585 compared to 107. That's it. That's all they give you. All difficulties, all categories. The College Board is giving you just 107 extra math questions to practice with. That is not a lot. So I don't know why these numbers are different. My theory is that in here, they are still including questions that they used on older versions of the SAT. I have definitely gone through some of these and recognized questions that used to be on the old practice test when it was a paper and pencil exam. So I think they kept those around, and they're still good questions. The math section has not changed very much from test to test. So that's why the Educator Question Bank is better. It's going to give you just more practice. But again, you got to make sure the most important thing is you have to exclude active questions. One of the main reasons people do better on the practice tests than they do on the real exam is that without realizing it, they are spoiling the practice tests, usually because they are practicing in a bad way and they don't know to exclude the active questions. And so you're seeing how to solve all these things before you take the practice test. Then when you take the practice test, you remember how to solve, your score is high. And then when you take the real SAT, it's not going to be like that. So you've got to make sure if you're using this question bank, you are avoiding spoilers by clicking this box to exclude active questions. But that is pretty much it, how we use the question bank. Again, I will put the links to both of these in the description. But there's lots of other things that you can do to target practice. Like I said, the membership for my channel is a really great way to see new questions, and you know you'll never spoil the practice test that way. And it's a great way to also target topics in a way that makes much more sense. I don't love the different skills they have here. I mean, just look at these. Linear inequalities in one or two variables. It's very weirdly specific. You don't need to think about the SAT that way. If you have other questions, please put them in the comments. Once again, I'm Mike Settele, founder of Settele Tutoring. I hope this helped. And remember, when it comes to your scores, don't settle for less, Settele for more. Thanks for watching.